Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you new, hi, I'm Jeanette from Embroidery, Sewing and Crafts, and in this video we're going to be embroidering this Lilly backpack. These are really popular. They're from Pottery Barn, and I do get a lot of customers that come to me. Apparently the kids are loving these bags. They really are. And they want the bags to be monogrammed and they want to have the initials. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be embroidering this top part right here. But, and it's going to have the monogram here. But there's something that I wanted to show in this video because I've done videos of backpacks before. But every time I bump into something a little different, I always like to share the knowledge, right? So if you look at this backpack really closely, the way that it's designed, it has these little pleats right here. And if you look at it, you can see that there's like some folded edge right over here, right? So one of the things you want to make sure that your customers are aware is that when you go to embroider this flap, which is going to be really easy to embroider, but you got to be careful because of this kind of curvy fabric right here. So, of course, you can't just embroider on top of this, right? You don't want the stitches to come out right on top of it and have that on the fold. You're going to have to stretch this out so that way you have a flat surface so that you can go ahead and put your embroidery. One of the things that I also let the customers know in advance is that because I have to flatten this out, all right, you're going to have the embroidery over here. So that pleat may end up stopping where the embroidery is, or it may kind of affect the embroidery just a little bit, you know, just maybe make it look like a little slinted or something like that. But you want to make sure that you let your customers know beforehand, because usually embroidery always looks great on flat surfaces. But when you have something like this, where you have this kind of pleat in here, you're going to have to get this flattened out in order for your embroidery to go on, because the machine is not going to be able to embroider really nicely on top of a pleat. Like I can't just embroider initials like right on here with the fabric being folded over. It's going to be a little tacky. It's not going to look right. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, how would I go ahead and embroider this? Well, of course, I'm going to use tearaway stabilizer, and I'm going to use my mighty hoop. I have the size that I'm using right here. Let me tell you, it's the 4 1/4 inch mighty hoop. Now, if you don't have mighty hoops, does that mean you can't do this bag? No, that is not it. I also want to show you other stuff. Okay, so if you don't have the mighty hoops, but you have fast frames, you can go ahead and use your fast frame. And let me pull out a fast frame so that you can see what a fast frame looks like. A fast frame looks like this, okay? But the thing is, you wouldn't use this side of it. This has several other pieces that come with it. Like this is one that's pretty big. Obviously, that's way too big. But you would find the size that's more appropriate that the actual embroidery is going to fit. So obviously, you can see on this hoop is not going to work. I'll show you which hoop I would use for that while we're talking about these types of embroidery designs. As you can see, here are some more different sizes. This is probably what I like to do is I always like to look at the template that I'm going to embroider, and then I want to make sure that the design is going to fit in the template. Now, to me, that's a little bit too close for comfort, so I would go the next level up. And this to me is perfect. I would use sticky stabilizer, and I would just go ahead and put that on here and then go ahead and embroider. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my mighty hoop. So I just wanted to show you that. Now let's talk about single needle, because I also, you know, I don't like to exclude anybody over what type of machine they have, or even like what type of equipment they use and everything. So would you be able to embroider this on a single needle? My response to that is yes. The thing is, you would have to hold this upside down. You would have to put this on your hoop, and then you have to make sure that you have this you know, I would use sticky stabilizer, hold it down on the hoop like this, and then you would have to make sure you hold the bag, okay? It can be kind of tricky to do, all right? So I would definitely recommend you take your time doing it, because remember, you have to slide it into the machine. But can it be done? Yes, because this does open up pretty far. So you'll be able to put this flat down and be able to embroider, okay? So that's how I would do it on a Sigildino machine, but I really think that it would be kind of tough to do it. Now, let's also talk about the template. Now, I use Embroidery, and usually I print out my template twice. I print it out like this the first time, and then I print it out with the snowman feature. Now, the snowman feature is a feature that I believe it's specific to brother machines, and what it does is it scans this and it will embroider exactly where this template is. However, if you don't have a brother machine, you have something else, you could use one of these templates that doesn't have the snowman in the middle, but if you notice, it has the crosshairs. So you can use the laser on your machine to make sure that you have the item aligned exactly where you want it to embroider on your backpack. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hoop this for the machine. But before I do any of the hooping, one of the things that I want to do is I want to actually place the template exactly where I want it to embroider. So, okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start hooping the bag. Okay, I'm going to be using my Mighty Hoops, and this is the template that I'm going to be using because like I said before, I have brother machines and it has the snowman feature. Love that feature. So this isn't the template that I'm going to put on there. I'm actually going to put this one. Okay, and this is the thread that I'm going to use, which is the hot pink. And I'm going to use painter's tape, which you don't see, and the painter's tape is what I'm actually going to use to place my template. Okay, so like I said, this is just the one that I use to show the customer because it doesn't have the snowman on it. But if you don't have a brother machine, you could use this one as well so that you can go ahead and make sure that your machine is aligned to the bag. So I'm not going to use that one. I am going to use this one. And I use my tape, painter's tape. Now, the reason why I like the painter's tape is because it's not like, you know, it's strong tape, but it's not so strong that it's going to pull the fibers of the fabric or, you know, the template's going to shift in any way. So you just need a little piece. You don't really need too much. It's just enough to hold your template down. And I kind of like it that it's easy to tear also. So, and I'll show you what it looks like after I place it. And, you know, if you want to take measurements, you can, but I usually eyeball it, and it always seems to come out okay when I eyeball something. So you just really don't want it to come out like crooked or anything like that. But once you eyeball it, everything seems to be all right. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more. Now, when you are using the tape on this and you're using the snowman feature, the one thing that you don't want to do is put the tape over the actual snowman design of itself. Okay, so let me show you exactly what it looks like once I tape it down. I want to make sure it looks straight. It does. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what you don't want to cover at all, because this is what the machine's going to read, is that little snowman over there. Okay, so let me just take a look at it, make sure it looks okay. And I think it does. Let's see. Once you pull it, it does. It looks good. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, guys. So I am centering this and I'm putting in the tape, painter's tape. But what I'm doing is I'm making a couple of adjustments. What I did was, and I'll show you in a minute, I just used a bigger piece of tape. That's all. So let me show you what I did. Okay, so I did it this way and I used a bigger one. Okay, now notice how this has this little curve in there, so I have to make sure that I stretch out the fabric inside the hoop. So I already have my hoop inside in here, And it's going to be fine. And this is centered well. Okay, it's just that because it has those pleats in there, it makes it a little bit difficult to try to find that center point, but that's okay. All right, now I got that in there, but now I have to stretch out the fabric because you can't have any wrinkles in the fabric when you're stitching. So, got it. Has that little pleat. The little pleat kind of makes it a little bit difficult to hoop, but that's okay. And, you know, one thing that I have to mention also is that when you're working on this on a single needle machine, that pleat might be a little problematic for you too, because you're going to have to really watch that. All right, so I have my design nicely hooped, looks okay and everything, so it's ready to go on the machine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this on here. I already have a brand new needle on the machine, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this thread on here. It's going to look super cute, and load the design, and I'll meet you right at the machine, okay? Okay guys, so here we are at the machine. So just to let you guys know, we have this hooped up. This doesn't seem to be kind of heavy and stuff, but I am going to hold it a little bit, and of course I'm going to watch it. I have the design brought up. I'm going to hit the snowman, and I'm going to let it read the little snowman in there to make sure that it's going to actually place it exactly where I want the embroidery to be. It looked like it just moved just a little bit, and it's saying that it's okay for me to remove the positioning mark. Now, one of the things that I always like to do is instead of removing the mark, I am going to move it, but once I hit OK, I also like to trace. The reason why I like to trace is because I want to make sure that the needle is not going to hit the size of my hoop. It really shouldn't, because if you look at it, it is nicely put in there. It looks like there's plenty of space, but I just want to make sure. I always like to double check. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a trace, and it looks like it is. It looks like it's going to work well. Awesome. So now that I have that secure and I'm happy with it and stuff, now I can safely go ahead and just remove the template from here and then start the embroidery process. Okay, so I'm going to hit embroider, and I do want it to go to needle number 1. Even though it says here that it's black, needle number 1 is really the hot pink. So I know I'm going to get the right one. This is a 6-minute stitch, guys. It's 6 minutes, so it's not going to be long at all. And I will just stand here, and I like to babysit it, because if there's something that is wrong, I like to just go ahead and grab it. The other thing, if I have something that has like soluble stabilizer, which I'm not going to use here because it's flat, I like to use my chopsticks. So guys, if there's ever a time that you feel that you may want to smooth some fabric or something like that, please use some chopsticks. I'm telling you, these will save your fingers, okay? Lots of people have accidents out there, and I see it all the time, people in emergency rooms and stuff. One thing I always say, fingers don't grow back, okay? Once they're gone, so we want to keep them. So I'm holding this up, and I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to hit embroider. I'm going to actually lower the stitch speed. I'm going down to 700, and that's going to up to 7 minutes. So I am going to, in the video, fast forward this part, and I'm just going to hold this like this. That way it's nice and comfortable. It's not putting weight and stuff, and I'm just going to go with the flow. So I'm just going to go ahead and start embroidering, and I'll fast forward this part in the video. But, you know, as it is embroidering, I want to make sure you guys can see the process too. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so that you guys can see it. There you go. See that beautiful initials come out on the machine. Okay, so here we go. Enjoy the process. all done. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's take it out of the machine, meet you at the cutting table, and let's take a look and see how this baby came out. Okay, so here we go. All right. Take this out of the hoop. Oh, came out so cute. Cute, 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 cute. I love it. Okay, all right. I just love embroidering because it's just, everything has a little spot. Now, tear away stabilizer, so you just tear it out. Okay. And there we go. And, you know, it has its pleats and stuff like that, but the customer's aware of that. So let me close it up and let's take a look at it. And we're going to evaluate the final look of it. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Here we go. Looks cute. Let me give you a close-up here. Look at that. Nice, right? Looks really good. Came out nice, nice and centered. Now, of course, like I told you guys, make sure you let the customers know. If you see that a pocket has a pleat like that, see how it's kind of flat and it still goes a little bit over and stuff, but it's fine. It still looks really cute and everything. It doesn't look like it really did anything to the embroidery and stuff like that because it looks really nice and everything. So I really do kind of like the way that the pleats kind of look. Let me see. I'm going to put my hand in there and see if I can fold out the pleat. And it looks pretty cute. So, yeah. So this is like a really, really cute bag. I like the way that it came out. I think the customer is going to be really happy. And now it's time for me to go ahead and text her and let her know that her backpack is ready to pick up. So guys, I just wanted to do this quick tutorial for you guys. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm all about machine embroidery. And I always like to post videos of things that I'm embroidering and new stuff and everything like that. And so that way, as I learn, you guys can learn. And I just love doing this. It's a lot of fun. And if you're interested, I do embroidery happy hour every Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I talk about running an embroidery business. And I also try out some new techniques just to see if it actually works. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you liked the video, and please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys later. Happy sewing and happy embroidering. Bye.